Hi, and welcome to Alpha Praxis. Today I want to talk about, regardless of our differences, Americans are all one people, and history proves it. One thing that we need to remember is that we have been through many trials and many tribulations that have drawn our country into incredible division and incredible pain. But together as one people, we have all pulled together and been able to successfully build a cohesive nation. We suffered under British rule, and 13 colonies were able to successfully fight off in 1774 the British massive military power that no world has ever been able to stave off. But we did, because we had a belief in a unified country that we felt was going to be a great experiment that was the benefit to the world. And we finally were able to unite and become a group of people that were proud and happy to finally have our liberties given back to us after we were subjugated. Then we ended up going into a civil war, which caused our country incredible pain, incredible power struggles between the Union and Confederate armies, where we pulled ourselves apart at the seams. And it was the most difficult time. During Abraham Lincoln's presidency, he oversaw the Union's undoing of some of the most tragic things in our country's history: slavery, and the way that our country was destroying itself from within. Only through that were we able to come out through the Emancipation Proclamation and rejoin in one nation and finally see all of our people as accepted citizens of this beautiful union that we call the United States of America. Then, after the execution of Franz Ferdinand, we were drawn into World War I, which was one of the bloodiest wars we had ever experienced up to that point. And it was horrific. The chemical warfare, the violence, the unbelievable terror that our men and women in service had experienced was just incomprehensible. And we made it through it. And we came out a stronger nation. Then we get drawn into World War II. Lusitania, Pearl Harbor. We ended up getting into a battle that was something that the world had never seen, and a genocide that nobody could have ever foreseen being engaged. It was something so dramatically horrific that people that had seen the true experiences that people had to suffer through in Treblinka and other concentration camps was horrific. And it was a tragedy on the world stage. And our country stayed together strong, and we pulled through. And our men and women fought and suffered and died, and we all were one people. Then we had the Vietnam War. And that was probably one of the most divisive wars of our country next to our Civil War. Because at that time, our country did not want to be engaged in war, which is understandable. We should not be engaging in warfare. We should not be the world police. We should not be trying to stifle everyone's issues. We should worry about ourselves sometimes. But I understand there are times and there are places where we should stand up on the world stage and assist other countries and their problems. But the Vietnam War was a war that we had never experienced before. It was something that was so difficult for us to comprehend because guerrilla warfare was not something we were used to. So our country, after a long, drawn-out conflict, started to become ripped apart once again. And then we had the shootings at Kent State. And that was incredibly monumental on the world psyche and our country especially, because we had unarmed college students who were protesting a war that was understandably something they didn't want to see people drawn into. And our young men were being completely pulled from their homes through the draft into Vietnam and sent off to war to die in a war that most people didn't even understand why we were in. And even after all that, our country came back together. We've had a lot of hard times. America has not been a country without problems. We have not been a country without sin. We have not been a country without issues. But what we have found through massive tragedy, we stand together. After 9/11, we stood together. We know what pain is. We are one people that realizes that division falls away when we're all threatened. Division falls away when we all suffer. Because one thing our country does is it realizes that love, compassion, power, and strength are virtues that we embody. We aren't perfect. We never will be. No one will ever be. But it's not about being perfect. It's about always working to build a more perfect union. And that is what the founders created. A more perfect union. Not the perfect union, not the best union, not the greatest union under God. A more perfect union. And more means that you're always striving to be better. You're always working. You're always failing. Everyone fails. You fail at your marriage, you fail at your relationship, you fail at your parenting, you fail at your school, you fail at everything. Everyone falls. It's what you do once you've fallen to see who you are and what the mettle of the person is and what the mettle of the people are. And that's the beauty of America, because we fall a lot, but we always brush ourselves off and we get back up. So in these difficult times where we're so divided and things are so problematic and everything seems to be going around that's problems in our world, we need to understand that we are one people united in this establishment of not the perfect union, a more perfect union. And I hope that you remember this, because we as one people are only going to be able to come together and help each other get through these difficult times. So instead of looking onto one another and disassociating ourselves from each other, we need to come together. Thank you so much for watching Alpha Praxis, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and we love you.